Show a DIY that counts as a nap time project. We love those. A start to finish afternoon creative jolt. A strand of soft and fluffy, extra large handmade yarn pom-poms is the kind of home decor detail that cannot be overlooked. It makes a statement all its own, and it has a cozy factor that we say is perfect for fall. Sarah Freeman is here to share the finer details of making a chunky pom-pom garland. Great to have you.
Thank you. I'm excited.
What do you love about this handmade accent?
Well, besides the fact that I just want to roll up and like throw them all over myself.
You're like, can I wear one? Yeah. Can I wear a giant pom-pom garland?
It's true. But for fall, I love when I get to pull out my chunky sweaters and my socks. And so this chunky pom-pom is kind of like bringing that cozy aspect into your home. And it kind of adds coziness to an area, maybe like on a wall or a mantle where it's maybe not quite so soft and cozy normally.
Where a traditional paper party banner would be fine, but it would just fall flat and not have that same touch-up effect.
The warm and soft texture.
Yes. So the texture stands out, and obviously the size stands out as well. You've gone big scale.
Oh yes. So these, if you can see my hand, these are like 4 inches in diameter. So these are really big. These are slightly smaller. These are only 3 to 3.5, but still very large, much bigger than our traditional pom-poms.
So what works best then for size and construction?
So with these, my house doesn't have like a huge vaulted ceiling or anything. So for me, I found kind of 8 is the magic number. So I like 8 pom-poms and 8 feet of string to hang it on. And that for me has been kind of the magic trick. If you do too few, it kind of looks funky. And if you do too many, it almost can be overwhelming just because of their size. So I like the 8 pom-poms to 8 feet for me.
That's the magic
number. If you have
a
bigger room, you could probably do more, but they are also really heavy. So if you do too many, it's going to start sagging, and maybe in weird places you might need to reinforce your string a little bit more.
Yeah, there's some weight to these guys,
aren't there? There is a lot of weight.
Well, you mentioned the mantle. I think that's an obvious application when we look at the home design implementation.
It's always my favorite.
Of course. Where else could you play these at home?
So I like to kind of string them on my bookcase, like just kind of over, like on top of it.
Like angular?
Yes. It's kind of like this, but on your bookcase. I also like them in nurseries. You can put like a soft pink and white in a little girl nursery.
Well, and nursery decor, I speak from experience, is tricky, right?
Because
you want it to say baby without being cheesy.
But you want it to be soft. You don't, I wouldn't put it on a crib because that's a little dangerous, but you could hang it on the wall right by the crib. It's also fun to hang these vertically. So even like if you just do it like, you know, this way, it kind of like in your entry or something creates a little pop of color and texture there too.
See, I wouldn't think to go vertical.
It's kind of fun.
That is fun. All right, speaking of fun, what do we need to know about making one of these guys?
So the traditional pom-pom, you're going to do that, but you're going to use a really big pom-pom maker.
So where do you get those?
You can buy these at a lot of craft stores or online, or you can make your own too, which is also always a possibility.
With the cardboard.
Yeah, the cardboard thing. If somebody already made one for me, I'm going to just use theirs, but this is a very easy way to do it. So you use your biggest pom-pom maker. This is like a 3.5 inch, but this is the 4. I know, we want the big guys. So, and then you're going to just, you know, wrap it like you would your pom-pom, and we've talked about that before.
Which is why we call it a nap time project. It's therapeutic and almost mindless.
Well, and it's so soft. This is such a nice yarn for that. The one trick I would say when you're tying it off is to leave your ends kind of long, and we'll talk about why we're going to do that in a little bit. But so leave your ends. It's going to come off of your pom-pom maker a little bit wonky.
Yeah, it's
so
uneven.
You're going to want to trim it a little bit.
This is my favorite part.
I know, it is.
In my head.
Except it's so messy.
I wish I was a hairstylist. I wish I could do it. So I take that out on the pom-pom.
The haircuts, I tell you, people aren't going to be happy with the haircuts they get from me. Anyway, so you're going to trim it down to make kind of more of a round shape.
Kind of even, just smooth it over.
So, but the nice thing about the chunky ones is that they can be kind of messy. I try to make my other yarn, like my smaller yarn pom-poms, a little more perfect, but these, you don't really want them perfect.
It makes sense. The bigger size is more forgiving. Doesn't have to be as detailed.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And it's just a little more fun to keep them kind of loose. So once you have all your pom-poms, so like these guys here, you're going to actually cut your yarn, and you want to cut 3 strands of 8 feet. So you get a lot of yarn.
Why 3?
Because we are going to braid it to make it thicker. So now traditionally...
I didn't even notice you did that.
Yes, it is hard to string them on just like, this is what I usually use for like my regular garlands. But because it's so thin, if I try to like put the needle through this, they all slide to the center.
Because they're heavy.
They are heavy. So this is not the best for this kind of garland.
Ditch that.
So we don't want that for although we are going to use it a little bit, but not for the actual stringing part. So what I do is I like to kind of knot it. And then the best way I have found to do this, I actually do this on my kitchen floor. And we need our washi tape.
Sorry, I've spread you out over here. I've been petting as you've been talking, so I probably
hey, this is what I do every night. You know. Anyway, we want our little washi, and we're gonna put that tape the strands to like the floor in my case, or the table. And then you're gonna channel your inner Rapunzel, and you are gonna just braid away.
How did you know that's what I was thinking? That's my favorite part in the movie, actually, when she goes into the village and the little girl's eyes light up and they run over and
so you can channel that.
Yeah, I get it.
Or like you can think back to the days when you were like making friendship bracelets with your friends or something like that.
No, I'm staying with Rapunzel. I'm staying right there in that village with hair and flowers. And
I agree. That's what I think of
That's our movie of the week. We moved on from Poo Poo Pan, as she calls it, to Punzel. So
well, that's actually my favorite
movie
princess
of the week at our house. Yeah.
So you just braid, and it's super long. So this actually takes kind of a long time.
I was gonna say that would take a while.
It's deceiving. You think it should be quicker than it is, but because it's so long, it gets like kind of braided down here too. So you're gonna have to spend a lot of time kind of untangling.
So you just kind of bunch it up and then braid as you go.
You just kind of go, and then you may even need to like slide this up and like put your washi tape up on top.
Okay.
And it doesn't need to be tight. Loose is actually better because then it doesn't like do weird bunchy things. And then you just knot it at the end again. I like to leave kind of the same amount at each end. So like you want to knot kind of in the same, with leaving the same amount at each end.
And then how do we attach the palms?
So then once you have your braided one, we'll move this guy for a sec. I like to find the center on here. So this is about our center, and then I try to kind of keep track of that as I go.
If you will. Let me just show off my math skill from 4th grade.
We were just talking about that. My husband and I were just debating what the mean and the median was. So there you go. So you find your center, and then you want to kind of lay your pom-poms around it kind of evenly.
Or you just kind of
eyeball it. I hate measuring things. I don't know why it bugs me so much, but I hate measuring. I do measure my string to make sure it's the right length. So once you have them all laid out, this is why we kept our ends kind of long. You want to tie it, and this just adds a little reinforcement because again, it is so heavy that we want to just kind of knot it on there. And then you can cut those ends. But to make it even extra strong, that's when I use our string. And we just do a little...
You sneak in the scissors.
Yes, please. We just, I like to actually even double it up. So double the amount of string. And you have to be careful not to hurt yourself. But I go through the very center.
I was about to make a Sleeping Beauty reference, but I feel like we've over-Disneyfied the day, so
oh my
I'll
gosh.
stop.
I have 3 girls. This is totally all normal conversation in our house. So, and then you go up through the center, but you have to be careful because seriously, with these, how big these are, it's sometimes hard to find your needle.
It's deceiving.
So you just go up. I have it knotted at the bottom. And you want to just make sure that you're picking up your garland in the middle of it.
Just get that extra reinforcement.
Yep, so you just keep going.
Sarah, this is so fun. Such an impact in a soft way, which is what we love for fall, as mentioned. If we run out of time, we run out of patience, can we just buy one?
You
can. We cheat?
You can definitely buy them. I sell them in my Etsy shop, and it's apricotpolkadot.etsy.com. And you can also find me on Instagram at apricotpolkadot.
Cutest name, cutest project, cutest girl. Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank you.